Logos have to solve a problem, and in order for a logo to solve a problem, we need to understand what the problem is. You see, in today's world, the problem your logo might face is if it's too complicated, or if it does not adequately represent your brand, or it does not function necessarily in places where modern logos will appear. The previous logo I dropped was just an overview. This video is really going to dive deeper into some of the things that went into creating that video. So stick around. You don't want to miss what I'm about to share with you guys today. So y'all have been doing amazing. I've been seeing a lot of the designs that have been coming in so far. The sketches even, y'all are doing great. Keep going. It's quite difficult to get it on your first try, but I'm glad you're putting in the effort. For the past 1 week, we've been covering the entire phase, or the strategy phase of the brand, and phase 1 and phase 2 are so far being completed. Well, sort of. So day 5 was all about taking your logo ideas and sketches and refining them into clean, polished logos, while also maintaining the brand's essence. We're going to focus on all the elements, all the ideas, and all the concepts that we have sort of embodied into this one single logo structure, right? And we're going to modify or simplify by trying to make those elements or those ideas as simple as possible, but as clear as possible if you finally interpret the logo. I hope that makes sense, right? So it's like we have all these sketches in our logos. We have the letter Z, we have the boxes, and we have the road networks and the lightning bolts, right? We cannot put all of these separately, and in our sketch we're able to refine that into a singular icon. But now we have to consider how this icon is going to appear, its functionality. This is the logo that we finally came up with, and if you understand the principles behind a logo design, which is it has to be simple, memorable, it has to be functional, it has to be relevant to the brand. Every step we took after our ideation and sketching phase was to make that a possibility. So if you look at this logo as the sketch is, it lacked the necessary balance to function as just the logo, right? It still needed some touches, right? If you are creating a logo, or if you are fine-tuning a logo, you must not over fine-tune it to the extent it loses its relevance to the brand, or it loses its ability to carry the brand's essence. Hope that makes sense. For our Zapp logo, we really focused on just trying to get a logo that functions for the brand. In refining, you have to consider how the logo will look in small spaces. It's a modern brand, or it's a modern logo, and in the modern world there are a lot of usages for the logo, and if the logo is too bogus or too complicated, it will lose its own properties, and it wouldn't help the brand in its visual representation, right? So the Zapp brand, we focused on having multiple ideas in just the icon. In our refinement, what we did was take the same ideas but adjust it a little, right? So instead of sharp edges, we rounded off the edges and then brought it in a little bit to feel less forwardy. Hope that word makes sense, right? To feel less sharp, right? So that there can be a balance between speed and presence, between objects and feelings, right? So the edges that were curved were meant to give the human feel, to make it feel welcoming, right? To make it feel like the brand has emotion. And that's part of the Zapp brand. You are reaching people that are about also spirit, about movement, but they're also about value. They're also about trust. And that's what the logo is helping us do. In selecting a logo type for the logo, you have to really consider two things: how the typography will balance out the logo or complement the logo icon, and how it will appear when it is on its own. So for some brands, you can use their name and their icon, and sometimes you can use only their name. Now for the Zapp brand, we're not really considering only the name, as it may not really stand alone sometimes. However, we want to make the logo type a little bit unique, right? So we took a font that was already a good representative for the brand, and then we made it into something that is unique to the Zapp brand. You see, in constructing your logo, you do not want it to just be another logo. It's a signature, and every signature is unique to the individual that signs it, right? So it should be simple, it should be scalable, it should be memorable. And if you're still trying to do all of this, it means you're on the right track. Great logos always come through iterations. So please do not rush the process. Take your time and get the best logo for that brand you're building, because that's what clients will see and be like, okay, this guy knows what he's doing. So finally, this was the final lockup for the logo. It's going to appear in multiple formats and multiple forms, but there's a test I want to run before we finally decide if this is our logo. Okay, follow me to two sites, right? What we're about to do is to test the quality and the uniqueness of our logo, right? There are other things to do to test the logo's functionality in the design process, which is drawing lines and checking the sizes. That's, you can do it for yourself. You can just reduce the size all the way down. Follow me to two sites and I show you whether your logo is unique enough to be a logo for a brand. So we're going to take the logo and go to Google Images, right? We're going to upload our file or a screenshot. So you can take screenshot by pressing Windows Shift and S, right? And then you get a screenshot of your logo. So you take your logo and then you run it through Google Image Search. Now, it's important that the search, if it reveals elements that are similar, too similar in fact to the logo, then your logo is not unique enough. It's too generic. So as you can see here, our logo still has a lot of uniqueness. It doesn't really look like any logo on the Google image search, and that means we can proceed by finalizing and saying, hey, this is our logo. But before you do that, you need to also run it through one more site, and the site is called branddb.wipo. It's called branddb.wipo, and it's like a database for all brands. Now, I don't know what that covers, whether all brands in the world, but it covers a lot of brands and a lot of icons. So you're going to come to the three lines for menu, and you're going to check global brand database. Now, once you click global brand database, it's going to take you to this interface. You will see you can search those collections using keywords, names, and numbers, goods and services, and image similarity. So you're going to click image similarity, and it's going to bring you to this interface, right? Brand logo. So we're going to import the logo again into this interface. And so once you import your logo, it's going to ask you conceptual similarity, shape similarity, color similarity, and composite similarity, right? So the two things you want to search for is concept similarity and shape similarity. Conceptual similarity, you run the search and it's going to bring up things that look like your logo. And then you also do the same for shape similarity, and hopefully nothing like that exists and you're good with your logo. So you can run the same test for client projects and your personal project. It helps you not fall into legal battles in the future. So do that and your logo is good to go. On day 6, we explored the power of typography. In selecting a typography for your brand, you have to understand your brand's essence, your brand's tone of voice, and your brand's value, right? Is your brand bold, energetic, sophisticated, or calm? It's important that you select the right font for that brand. Your font choice speaks volumes about your brand and its personality. So in selecting a typography for your brand, you have to put all this into consideration. Hey, look, I'm not the one that made the rules, but how you write your messaging, your titles, what font you use speaks volumes. Hey, there's a test I quickly can run for you. If you write, I will find you in a sans serif font, right? Nobody really gets scared, but imagine writing it in this font. Now it means a whole other thing, right? So it's important that the typography you select adequately represents your brand so that your audience do not get what they're not supposed to get, right? A modern brand usually will go for sans serif fonts, and a vintage or a luxury brand or a luxurious brand can go for a serif font or even a script font, right? So I don't want to run through all the type styles that we have, right? But it's important to understand also that the font you choose will determine whether people can see you or people will fear you. Hey, in brand recognition, it's important that you pass the right message no matter what and no matter how. So that's what we did. We finally decided that since Zapp brand is all about energy and efficiency and movement, we needed a font that was able to communicate that feeling, and we came to the font called Sign. As you can see, the Sign font is bold, is sharp, and it's unique, right? So that was the font we decided to select, and we will pair it with another font, which is the either Montserrat or Poppins. I'm sorry guys, I couldn't just help it, I had to. But again, we might change it, but that's the decision for now. So you can go through the necessary tests or the necessary visuals. This is the brand design or the brand guide document. It shows the selection of the primary typeface and its different fonts. So typeface and fonts are two different things. So typeface is basically a font family, right? So when you call a font, you're talking about bold or Arial, medium, or when you're talking about the typeface, you're talking about Arial, you're talking about Sign. I hope that makes any sense. So font and typeface are different, and we represented the usage of the type in the different formats and the guide that is necessary to guide our brand expression. So that is it for the typeface. In selecting your type, put all these things into consideration, and I'm sure you will select the right typography for your brand. And on day 7, we decided to select colors. See, colors are a crucial part in our world. From the day you were born, you decided to see colors. You can identify things just by their color. For example, if you see these two elements, if you are a Nigerian or if you're on social media, you know who I'm talking about. What about this guy? You know who I'm talking about, right? So that is crucial to know that colors can help identify things. You see the green grasses, the blue sky, the sea is not actually blue, but the blue sea, right? Colors communicate emotion and it sets the mood for your brand. If you select the wrong colors, your brand will send the wrong emotions, will set the wrong moods for the audience. In selecting your colors, you have to consider a few things. You have to select a primary color or two primary colors that convey the necessary essence of your brand. All right, like for the Zapp brand, we chose a bright lime green and it symbolizes the energy for the brand. The deep navy blue color, which symbolizes reliability, and the beige color, which also brings warmth. So it's a unique balance between all of the brand's essence, right? And also the color choices were made because from our audience analysis, we realized that a lot of brands used orange, blue, green, and yellow also. And we said, you know what, since we're trying to be a unique brand and be our own selves, we decided to select a different color, right? Something unique, something new, but something that also represents what our brand stands for. So that's how we came to this conclusion on the color. So after selecting primary colors, you add complementary colors like the beige that we spoke about. You can also add cream. You can also add accent colors that can be used sparingly in your brand identity design. Your palette must really align with your brand's essence and your brand's audience. And remember, it's not just about that. Would your audience like it? That's the question. So in doing all of this, it's important that you're not just designing something that is fine. You're designing something that is appealing and that should be functional. So if your identity doesn't solve a problem, you have created a problem. In doing all of this, remember, clean designs are usually the best designs and the most functional. So don't try to overcomplicate it. Keep it simple, keep it clean, and keep it good. So until the next one, we'll be covering day 8 and day 9 in my next video. For now, the challenge is no longer going to end on Monday. And if you've not joined the brand build challenge, please do so. It's not too late to join us, right? If you want to keep up with everything that we are doing here, hey, you know what to do. Subscribe, like this video so that more people can see it, and let's build something beautiful together. Also, keep sharing your work, keep sharing your progress. I love to see it, and I'm happy a lot of us are part of this challenge. So stay tuned, keep creating, and until the next one, stay creative. Cheers.